Okay, the last thing we need to take a look at before we start to unpack other people's playlist comps and start to make our own is to understand the playlist track view and the naming protocol that Pro Tools uses when creating new playlists. So we've got our recording track here, and we talked about the fact that when we make a recording on a track, we get a clip and an audio file that's named with the name of the track here, plus an underscore and a number of the audio file that appears in the audio files folder. So again, if we look here and also looking on our clips list here, we can see I've got recording underscore 01 up to 05, and that's reflected in our audio files folder. Here's 1 all the way to 5. That's one other thing that's interesting to notice as well, is that these dark or bold names here represent the actual files on the hard drive. Notice we've got 01 to 05, which are all here in our hard drive. What's not on our hard drive is this one, 01-06. And we said in the last video that was saying that this is an edited version, a non-destructive edited version that Pro Tools is remembering, but hasn't actually created a new file. Notice that there's no new file that says _1-6 on our hard drive. It's just a kind of like a reference or a reference file that Pro Tools is remembering in the Pro Tools session. And just to confirm that, if we do one more recording at the end here, we should see that this we'd imagine, because we've looked at our hard drive and seen there's nothing after recording 05, this new recording should be recording 06. So here we go. There it is, recording 06, and it's there in our clips list right there. So playlists. We need to switch to our playlist view by many ways, but the easiest one is to click on the track view selector, go to playlists. We have nothing here yet, and that's because even though we're in playlist view, we haven't created a new playlist yet. The way to create a new playlist is to click on this playlist selector here next to the track name, and we can do a couple of things, but the first thing we want to do is create a new one. When we create a new playlist on this track, we can name it whatever we want, but the convention that Pro Tools goes with is to add a dot and then a 2-digit number following it in order, essentially. So you end up quite often with your the second recording or the second playlist, because this is essentially our master playlist, the one that already exists. The second playlist you make is labeled 01. And then we press OK. And we'll notice that now the track name reflects that playlist name. So recording.01. And the recording track that we had before has been moved to the lower playlist in this playlist view. And if I go back to waveform view, you'll notice that we don't even see it. So basically, we've created an alternate version of this track in this playlist. This is a tricky example actually because there's no audio in these, but even if I was to play this currently and this clip did have audio in it, you wouldn't hear anything, not because it's muted, but because only what's on the top level playlist track or master playlist track gets heard, and all these alternate versions are silent until we promote them up to here. But before we get too deep into that, I just wanted to look at the naming of these so that makes a bit more sense later when we look at our example. So basically now, this is our main playlist, or the one we're working with, recording.01, which we created by going to new. And you can see if I made another one now, it would automatically try and name it recording.02. And now let's just have a look if we record another dummy clip over on this new playlist. So recording. And the name we're expecting to get is recording.01 and then _1. Whoop, _7. Why do we have that there? Let's have a quick look on our hard drive. Do we have anything here? Now that's a good point. We said before the Pro Tools only really looks at the audio files folder once at the start when it opens the session. So if you remember from the other video, that means we must have had recording.01 underscore 0, 5, and 6 from a previous test that I was running, and Pro Tools has remembered that. So let's try and clear this out. And this is an interesting point here. So we can delete this clip. Notice it still stays in the clips list. So we'll delete it from our hard drive as well, because what we're going to do is try and reset this and reset Pro Tools memory of what's in this folder. So I'm going to delete that. So now it's definitely not there. I'm going to delete this this playlist. So let's see how we can get rid of that. Firstly, to switch between playlists, you click the playlist selector here, and we can switch between these two. So here's the recording, the original one down here. So if I click on this now, and we'll look more at switching between playlists in a subsequent video, but I just want to delete this playlist down here. So if we right click on it, we should be able to scroll down and delete. Cool. So now it's like that never happened. I'm going to, just for the sake of restarting this session and refreshing Pro Tools' memory of what's in the audio files folder. So that's the playlist is deleted. The audio file is deleted from here. So I'm going to save this and close it, just to make Pro Tools refresh its memory of the audio files folder. Let's see. I wonder which one that was referring to. Maybe that was referring to the file that we have in here. Yep, there it is. Cool. So it's saying, because I didn't remove it from the clips list, but I did delete it from the hard drive, Pro Tools is saying that that one is missing. And you can see it's bold, but it's kind of in italics because Pro Tools is saying there's a problem there. We could remove the memory of this clip completely from the session, which is what I want to do by right-clicking on it. Let's press clear. Clear selected clips. Yep, we're going to remove it. Interesting, they say clear here and remove, but let's press remove. Now it's gone completely from Pro Tools' memory. I'm going to save, and let's try that one more time. I'm going to close the session, open the session. So now it's like this has never happened. And what we're going to do is create that new playlist now. So click the playlist selector, press new. There we go. Recording .01 is the new playlist name. We're going to record onto this playlist. And what I'm hoping for, again, now that we've started restarted the session, is that we should get a recording that's named recording.01_01. Here we go. Ready, set. It must be in the eternal memory of this project, I have a feeling. Let's just try this one more time. So what we're going to do to delete this, I'm going to remove it from the edit window. I'm going to remove it from the clips list by clicking on it, right-clicking. If we press clear, we have a few more options now. We can remove the clip from the session itself. We can move it to the trash, or we could just delete the source file permanently. That's what I want to do. So delete. Are you sure? I am sure. Let's delete this. Now, if I delete this playlist whilst it's up the top here, it might delete the whole track. So I'm going to switch over to the original recording playlist and then delete recording 01. Now, it's deleted from the memory of this Pro Tools session. It's definitely not there. It's not on my hard drive. I can empty my trash. We could even close Pro Tools completely. Maybe saving it is keeping it there as well. So this could be demonstrated in slightly just more easily just by creating a new track with a different name. But I just wanted to see kind of what the implications are here. So we've got a new Pro Tools going. Let's open it up. Again, this might not work because we're saving this project, but I just want to see. So new playlist, recording 01, record. Here we go. It must be stored in the memory of this computer so deeply because I can't see any other way. It's interesting though that when we deleted it, In the previous example, it seemed to refresh it. But anyway. But either way, long story short, you can see that we've got the new recording name. So recording.01-9, because this was the 9th thing that Pro Tools has recorded in this session, or in the history of this session, that had the name recording.01. We do one more. This will say recording.01_10, which it does. That's also visible there in the clips list. And then if we edit this, what you can imagine is we'll get a -01 for the first edit. And there it is. So recording.01, meaning playlist 1, _10, because this is the 10th recording we've made in playlist 1, or using that name, and -01 because we've now edited this clip once. If I duplicate this clip by Command D, and then edit it again, interestingly, that becomes edit number 2, because it's still based off this first master clip here, recording.01_10. And we've got the 2 edited versions here. Cool. That should be everything we need to have a look at and analyze what other people have done in the edited playlists above. So let's get into that in the next video.